My boyfriend wants me to get rid of my dog. Too long did not read. My boyfriend wants me to get rid of my dog because my dog is always acting out around him, and if I don't he threatened to break up with me. My boyfriend, 23M, and I, 23F, have been together 1 year. We each live on our own but have talked about moving in together when my lease ends in 4 months. The issue is he doesn't get along with my dog. My dog, 3 years old border collie, is literally such a sweet boy, doesn't bark, is so calm and just lays around all day. I feel close to my dog because when I moved out of my parents' house unexpectedly, they kicked me out last December. He was literally the only thing I took with me besides my clothes. My parents held my car hostage because it was under their name and didn't let me take furniture since they paid for it. When I moved out, I stayed with my sister and slept in her unfinished basement with my dog until I found an apartment. Never did I think to abandon my dog. I paid a ridiculous pet fee I couldn't even afford just to keep him with me. Anyway, since day one my dog acted weird around my BF. He starts peeing everywhere and running around like if he's nervous or anxious. My boyfriend has mentioned how I should get rid of him, but I always tell him I'd never do that. Lately my boyfriend says he doesn't like hanging at my place because my dog gives him bad vibes, so we've hung out at his house mostly. He has a cat that I honestly think is so rude and sneaky, but I just stay out of her way. Tonight my boyfriend decided to come over and my dog instantly peed on the floor when he got here. My boyfriend said he's had enough and said if I don't get rid of my dog it's over. I told him I'd never do that and called me selfish for picking a stupid dog over him and stormed out. I think my boyfriend just shows his dislike for my dog and he can clearly sense that. Is there anything I could do to help the situation? I will not get rid of my dog. Your dig is scared of him for some reason, and instead of being patient and kind with the dog he gets angry at it. That provides some information about his character. On the other hand, you're anthropomorphizing the cat and calling it rude and sneaky. Sneaky, yes, cats are small predators that are preyed upon by everything from coyotes to great horned owls. Rude, no, cats don't understand human manners at all. They aren't pack animals, so don't behave like dogs, but are sociable in their own way. Edit. If your dog doesn't see other people much or guests in your apartment, that could be why. Socialize the dog with others and consider crate training. This doesn't mean to lock the dog up in a cage, but provide it a safe retreat where it can den up and not be bothered if it's nervous. I'd take him up on it a breakup. Your dog needs you, you need her. You don't need him, and she doesn't either. Take out your Uno reverse card and get rid of your BF. People tends to leave you disappointed where dog will always be more loyal. Trust your dog's instincts. There are always other men. You'll only ever have this dog. I've found animals to be a fantastic judge of character. If they don't like someone, there's usually a damn good reason. Listen to your dog. And listen to your gut. Is it telling you that your boyfriend is a stand-up guy who hasn't done anything to your dog to make it act this way? Also, you've had the dog longer than you've had the guy. Keep the one you've had the longest. I can only imagine how frustrating it is to be in this situation. It sounds like your dog is really stressed. Is it possible the dog might have formed a strong attachment to you and not dealing well with a new person in your surroundings? Or, as I read further in other replies from OP, maybe before being rescued he had very bad experiences with males, which made him afraid and therefore stressed. Regardless of staying with your boyfriend or not, you might truly want to talk to a trainer to understand this further. You love your dog and this might truly help him being more relaxed in social settings. Getting your boyfriend on board with this might help you understand whether he actually wants to help you solve the problem. Honesty, it sounds like you have a controlling boyfriend on your hands. If he cared about you, he would suggest doggy training school, because he would be able to empathize and see how much you love that dog. So dog aside, your boyfriend has some red flags. I'd pause on moving in with him until you get to know him better. For the dog, I'd look into training resources. It's a warning sign that there's something off with your BF. Boys come and go like seasons, but pets are forever. Fuck the guy. Keep the dog. And totally suspicious that the dog hates, is terrified of him. Why would you throw away your dog for this guy? And why the hell would any sane person ask you to? The dog has good instincts and they are telling him that your boyfriend is not a good person. If you get rid of the dog for him, you won't be a good person either. Has he ever been left alone with your dog? Like ever? Because that reaction says your dog is either being abused or has a fear of men and your boyfriend needs to interact with her kindly. Your dog is trying to tell you something. Listen to him. My boyfriend wants me to get rid of my dog. My boyfriend wants me to get rid of my dog boyfriend. Dogs are life commitments. You keep them until they go across the bridge because they deserve the love. If your significant other can't get over that or dislikes dogs, find a new one, as dogs unconditionally love us and you can't trust a non-dog person, they be evil man. Even if a dog is scared of someone at first due to reasons beyond their control, scared of men because of OP's dad or something, with patience and love and treats, a good person can win a dog over. OP's boyfriend hasn't bothered to try, gets angry, and tells her to get rid of the dog. Shows you what he is like. That's not a good person. This sounds like the dog is afraid of your boyfriend, maybe simply because he's a man or looks a way he's not used to, or that he had reason to be afraid of. Many rescued dogs don't like men or take time to warm up to men. It doesn't necessarily mean that the dog can tell that your boyfriend is bad. But a good, compatible boyfriend would want to work with you to get along with the dog. It doesn't sound like you guys took any intentional steps to improve their relationship at all. There are things you could do to work on this, but your boyfriend would need a patience and willingness to make an effort. It doesn't sound like he has. Pretty easy. Ditch the idiot boyfriend. No brainer. No decent person would ask you to get rid of your dog. Dogs pick up on the character of people very well. Your dog is telling you this man is not trustworthy or decent. Listen to your dog. Get rid of the boyfriend. FWU. I had a dog when my HB and I met. She was spot on with judging people. I didn't tell my HB I had her. I wanted to see her reaction to him and him to her. I knew if Gracie didn't like him, he was gone. Tears of joy he turned up. Took one look at Gracie. AMD said, "Oh, you didn't tell me you have a dog." And got straight down to pat her. She loved him. Smile. The rest is history. Simple. Get rid of your BF. The fact that your dog is afraid of him is the biggest warning sign that I saw here in the last few months. Get rid of the boyfriend. Never rehouse a pet for a boyfriend. I always say I agreed to care for my pets for their entire life but never signed the adoption papers for some fully grown man. Pets come first always. Mine hated a guy the first was bringing over, which is very uncharacteristic as he normally loves everyone but couldn't stand this one guy. So I told the guy he wasn't a fit for our household or family and ended it. That guy ended up being a jerk about so many things, so sometimes it's worth listening to our pets. Never trust anyone who is not trusted by a dog. Keep the dog, dump the boyfriend. You'll probably find out that he's abusive or something in a few years. I wouldn't move into a house with a dog that pisses on the floor every time it sees me either. If you give up the dog you will regret it later. This boy sounds like an impatient, self-centered little child at best. Does your dog have any problems with other men by any chance? Maybe the dog just doesn't get along with men as well and it needs time to adjust. Don't listen to these people making it seem crazy to choose a dog over a man. This dog is your family and it honestly sounds like your boyfriend hasn't done anything to fix his relationship with your pup. Who gets bad vibes from a dog? I've never heard something like that. I'm getting red flags and bad vibes from your boyfriend. I hate to see your dog rehomed because your boyfriend is controlling and mean. Please reconsider your relationship with him instead. Boyfriend goes, dog stays. Not a hard decision to make. Your dog is either scared of him or senses some bad vibes. Trust your dog honestly and F your boyfriend for even suggesting you get rid of it. Get rid of him. If he wants to be a lazy POS that doesn't want to take time to make friends with your dog and wants you to get rid of it, get rid of him. A normal person's reaction to a dog being scared of them. Or, puppy, what happened? Did I scare you? Come here baby, sniff my hand. And offer to take him for a walk together. What could you do to help your situation? Nitrogen monoxide. What could he do? My dog instantly loves most people but when she doesn't I'm wary. He could feed her and walk her and play with her. He could put in effort to be part of your lives. Both of you. Not do everything obviously but he could try to bond with her. But to be honest I think your dog senses something you don't. You've loved the dog longer and the dog has been with you through some bad times. Do not feel any guilt whatsoever about picking your dog over your angry boyfriend. This sounds, and I hope any of the animal lovers here will correct me if I'm wrong, like it could be submissive urination. Does your boyfriend get tall and intimidating or lower his voice or anything with your dog? Since your boyfriend doesn't like your dog and your dog does seem to have picked up on this, the dog could just be trying to please him by showing submission. Less than training can help to stop submissive urination, but I don't see many redeeming qualities in your boyfriend based on his reaction to this. Bye Felicia. If the dog reacts like that to anyone else, or reacts to future boyfriends similarly, I would consider Googling the issue to see what weird anxiety he's got around visitors or people competing for your attention and try to solve it. If it's really just your boyfriend, the good news is there's lots of other guys out there. This one's easy. Keep the dog, rehome the boyfriend. If a dog doesn't like someone, there's usually a good reason for it. It seems like you've been through hell with your dog and he's your companion. Do not get rid of him. You won't ever find love like a pet's love. Don't abandon him. Your boyfriend is not worth it. Especially people who have hatred for any sort of animals. Like, why are you threatened by a dog? Your boyfriend hopefully soon to be ex needs therapy. Sounds like that guy is a total asshole. You'd be better off without him. It sounds like the both of you are inexperienced handlers. Take your dog to a qualified balance trainer, and instead of letting him lie about all day, give him proper exercise. Does your boyfriend show other signs of being controlling? Has your boyfriend ever been alone with your dog? Because the sudden anxiety around your boyfriend suggests to me he has been abusing the dog. Even if that's not the case, if I were you I would lose the boyfriend and keep the dog. Trust your dog and question why your dog is scared around your boyfriend. I will say this: I have a dog and similar to you, she has been there with me through it all. If someone told me to get rid of my dog, especially a boyfriend, the boyfriend would be the first thing to go, not the dog. It also sounds like he's showing you what your future would be like with him. First it's control over a dog, will friends and such be next? Etc. Dump him, dude. Dogs are loyal, men are not. I wonder why your dog is like that around your BF. He sounds like he's scared of him. In any case, I would always pick my dog over any partner. Your boyfriend can really put in some effort in slowly bonding with your dog instead of making the first choice him or your dog. Plus, if your boyfriend is always angry with your dog, well, how else do you expect your dog to behave? I think this one is on you to stand up for your dog and yourself. Always trust the dog. Really messed up of him to tell you to get rid of your pet while he has a pet too. This is a red flag. He sounds controlling and maybe is abusing your dog when you're not around if the dog's afraid of him. Maybe your boyfriend has been abusing the dog when you're not around. Please just let the guy go. There are plenty of people out there who will love your dog with you and as much as you do. As others have said, keep the dog, ditch the boyfriend. That being said, is your dog like this around other people as well? Or just him? If he is anxious around most people, pees everywhere when they arrive, etc., that may be something you should discuss with your veterinarian or behavioralist. I wonder if your boyfriend hurt your dog when you weren't looking or weren't around. Like people, dogs get triggered in different ways if they're face to face with their abuser. If you suspect this is the case, leave him. If there's never been any evidence of physical harm, dogs also react when they see someone who resembles their abuser. My family friend's husky was rescued from an abusive environment where it was abused by a man, and now it's anxious and aggressive towards only men. If this is the case, your boyfriend should show a little more empathy to you and your dog. Since it seems like he isn't willing to, this should also be a deal breaker for you. Sounds like your boyfriend is giving your dog bad vibes, and you should get rid of the boyfriend instead. He did south to the dog when you didn't see him, almost positive. I go by the saying, if a dog doesn't like someone, you probably shouldn't trust them. I know he's your BF, but your dog acting up in front of him may mean he's picking up on something, or something may have happened while you weren't looking. My dog of 7 years doesn't like my own brother, and he hates dogs. I'm sure he abused her at one point when we lived together by the way she reacts when he visits, although I can't prove it. But her demeanor changed. When I lived with him, she suddenly began flinching and crying when I moved quickly around her. Keep your dog only has you. Trust your dog's instincts. Get rid of the boyfriend and any future boyfriends who suggest abandoning a member of your family. Dog behaviorist might help. It's worth the while, cause of the poor dog. Good luck.